Welcome to Corporate Cafecito,
a Latin and business podcast where we share insights and strategies to help entrepreneurs and professionals thrive.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Cafecito. I'm Nayeli Suárez Jr.
Y yo soy Carlos Butler Vale.
So today we have one of your all-time favorite people and my all-time favorite people, Sergio Suárez Jr. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, we brought you at the beginning of like this whole AI craze, and we were like, how does it work? How does it know what I like? How is this better than an Amazon algorithm? And I think from the time we brought you on to now, like I don't know if I feel stupider or smarter. And that's exactly how I feel. I'm like, is this right? And then I'm like, well, it's AI, but then I should check it. But then I'm also able to do a million things really fast.
Absolutely.
I think people are using it great. I think other people are misusing it. And so I guess I don't even know where to start. From when you came last time to now, one of the things that you said would happen that I have seen happen is an incredible loss of jobs. Mm-hmm. Which industries do you think are getting hit the most?
So a lot of like programmers, right? Even at a company like mine, we're able to code 3-4 times faster, so we don't need as many people, right? And it's not to say that it's not even like low level stuff. It's that when I'm using the term vibe coding, right? It's not that you can do it all yourself. It's that if you're already a good programmer, it will make you way faster. So all the things that would take you a really long time to do are now just being done at, literally 75% faster.
I would have thought like that would have been the one job that was untouchable.
No, especially like more lower level stuff too. What I use it as is, and I'm not even a good programmer, but a lot of the people that I work with and, that work with us is they're like, hey, I'm building X, Y, and Z. Give me a framework for this, right? And now 90% of what the AI came back with maybe isn't exactly what you wanted.
Sure.
But now you just kind of edit it a little. Now we're more editors than we are actually like complete computer programmers. Yeah. And sometimes it'll give us like really good ideas that like I wouldn't have thought of. I'm like, actually, that's probably a better way to do this. But so I would say that's been affected a lot.
That's really interesting. I hear that a lot of folks also use it to like catch errors. Like it's pretty easy. Like when you're doing and there's some sort of like a coding error, people can kind of use that to get a general sense of maybe where it went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I've done things like, hey, just how can I speed this up? Like, what sort of things do I have in my code that could be used to enhance or whatever? And half the time it's wrong, but half the time it gives me some pretty good ideas, right? Again, not very useful if you're a novice, but super useful if you know what you're doing.
So the cut is coming from possibly, again, just from your experience, is it coming from, you said it helps people speed up, it helps them be a little bit faster. So is it because you're able to turn things around faster, you're probably needing less people, or how does that then show up?
For us, it's that there's less QA or quality assurance that needs to be done on stuff because our own bots are doing a lot of the QA for us and finding, like you're saying, finding the errors, finding things that I would have to have humans go look for. Now, I get catch about the same amount with a human or with the AI. So, it might be about 85% accurate, but that's about how accurate my humans were anyway. Wow. So, I'd say that's a big one. I know there's big ones coming, right? I think a lot of anything in the service industry, right, is
What do you mean service industry? What do you mean?
So even just like more labor jobs. So the big thing where I think we're really going to start to see a really big hit on the economy is once we start combining computer vision and robotics, which,
Oh my God, Chichi, the other day, sorry.
It's okay.
I got this letter in the mail, and it was a warning from the city of Chicago, and basically said, like, you were parked on this street and you didn't pay the meter. I don't always pay the meters because I'm like, I'm just running in for coffee. And they caught it. They said there's cameras now, and they're putting cameras on the buses, and it is scanning the cars.
Oh, that's right. I've seen
and
those.
I was just like, what? Like, what? Like, there's going to be, I feel like there's, like, one, I wasn't gaming the system. I was getting a cup of coffee.
You were gaming the system.
No.
I was going to say, you got 5. They give you a 5-minute grace period, by the way.
And I was like, oh, my God. I'm like,
but you actually got a warning? I mean, that's great that you didn't get the actual ticket because
Yeah.
I've gotten
Well,
just
because
the
they said it
ticket.
was still in test.
Yeah, it was
And I was
like
like,
on Ashland. I hear is that
it
one of the
goes from
routes that they're doing.
Ashland to, I think, Halstead or the lake. I
Yeah.
can't remember. And
For
then-
those of us not in Chicago, that's actually
Yeah.
it's a pretty massive stretch of like road where you can probably catch a lot of people doing just a quick coffee run.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great I think
I
example.
did
of
not survive
combining.
without Cafecito. And actually, yeah, I was at, I can't remember the name of it. It's right there by Taylor and Racine. Anyway, when you think about the advancements for AI, where do you think it's going to go next?
Construction. I think there's going to be
What?
a lot more robots doing construction, especially like things with the roads, simple things within houses. And again, that's more of a computer vision mixed with robotics.
Yeah. Could you give us an example?
Yeah, I think you got to think, and I always tell people the way it's going to be portrayed or the way it's going to be sold is, hey, we're trying to like save lives. You know, there's a bunch of people that it's hot as hell on the street, you know, and it's
Yeah.
120. You know how dangerous it is for these people to make roads? Like, do you know how many people die every year by getting hit by a car because
Yeah.
they're doing construction?
Sure.
We should put robots there instead, right? And they'll have solar panels and they will work 24/7. They will
Wow.
not stop. And if you hit a robot, well, whatever, you hit a robot, right? We save lives. But in reality, it's because it's going to be, I don't know, 30 times cheaper to just use robots to do this. And, you know, everything eventually gets automated. That's the next thing. I think trucking will be another one where
Yeah.
it'll slowly,
So-
like 5, 10, 15% will
Why
start being done.
hasn't that sped up? Because I think it was like 10 years ago that Budweiser showed their first auto truck.
And like Uber's teased it a little bit. There's
And then
other
there are
companies,
those,
Aurora.
there's the companies in San Francisco that operate those.
Waymo.
Yeah. So how, I think that would impact the transportation industry
Massively, yeah.
crazy amounts.
Yeah, not so much that. So I don't believe that we're gonna own cars in like the next 15 years. I'd say. I think we're all just going to have. We just call a car and a car just shows up and we go kind of like with an Uber, but without any human beings.
That's
Right.
fascinating.
It's way easier and way safer to do because again everything's kind of going more towards a subscription agreement or something, right? Or hey, pay us $300 or $400 a month. And you can get a car wherever you want, whenever
And
you
you
want.
won't have to pay insurance and you won't have
Exactly.
to store it.
Or
and you won't have
gas or
to do-
electricity or
Yeah.
anything.
So you actually just brought up something that I think has been really important. A lot of what I've been hearing related to AI is kind of this disconnect between sort of city, suburban, and rural, right? So like when I hear you say we may not be owning cars, I think it's hard probably for someone that's out in the country to maybe sort of see it that way. But you hear a lot of that kind of another form of tech divide, of kind of like this digital divide. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. And then another thing that I hear a lot is there's still a big disparity in terms of underrepresented folks that are actually going into the fields where they're getting the certifications in AI and actually being a part of the designing of what these programs do and how they're being used. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that too.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a big disparity between what goes on in, like you're saying, in the city, the suburbs, and in rural areas. But you go to rural areas now, they know what ChatGPT is.
True.
You know, and sometimes they're
And
even
they know
asking.
Uber and they get Amazon deliveries.
And correct, yeah, exactly. So like, it might take a couple of years, but eventually they're right there with us, right? I think in the suburbs we tend to test a lot of stuff out there. It's a wider area, so when it comes to like, for example, the driving, like today, I didn't drive here. Like I literally told my car to bring me here.
Wow.
Because I wanted to read something, and it brought me all the way to the
doesn't it
front.
make you look up though?
Not if you wear sunglasses. Yeah. So, not that I did that.
No, he
You
didn't
know,
do
I
that.
didn't do that. I'm just saying, in theory, that's how you
Yeah,
could do
yeah.
it. And
You were reading like this.
exactly. But yeah, and it literally, I didn't do one correction. It literally dragged me all the way to the front here, and then I had to go find, where do I park? But
Yeah.
Wow,
and then it parked for
amazing.
me, right? I kind of put there. I said, "Hey, park," etc. So it's and as far as like the training of the models or the information, it's really consolidated a lot in places like India, where they're the ones that are doing a lot of the training or a lot of the data labeling
Is it
as well.
because of the amount of education they have, the amount of people they have, or just the wages?
It's wages.
Wages?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I always tell people whenever, like with us at at Tackle, we process medical records for law firms and for, I think we're up to like
TackleAI, and this is their CEO.
correct, yes. And we process for like 750 different hospitals and clinics in the U.S.
That's amazing.
And I'm never competing with other AI companies. My competition is always, can I do it less expensive than people in India, right? So I think their wages are somewhere between $3 and $4 an hour. So they always do the cost analysis. Is it going to be cheaper for me to just send this to India and take the security risk that we're sending sensitive data, to another country or overseas? But that's getting right now. I'm about 50% less expensive than sending stuff to India.
Wow.
So 3 years ago that wasn't the case because it was way more expensive. But now as the price is dropping and the processing that we do, and the wages in India go up, right? As time goes on, eventually we were able to surpass that.
Chichi, there seems to be a lot of irresponsible AI usage, though. Like someone was saying, like, "Oh, I used it to pick my watermelon at Costco," and I was like, "But like, isn't like every time you use AI, don't you like use so much energy and power that we shouldn't be using it for that?"
Technically, yes. It's a huge power consumption for sure. I mean, we're opening up back like nuclear power plants that had been down for like 20 years. We're turning them back on just for the amount of power that needs to be used.
Wow.
Big companies are making a lot of money selling resources to other companies that need the electricity. I know Oracle just made a bunch of money because they have access to energy that a lot of like the NVIDIAs and the Microsofts need. And so stock goes through the roof because I have access to power.
Oracle CEO just became, I think, the world's richest man, or just toppled, I think, Elon Musk.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, because of
I gotta
this
get
very
in
thing.
on something like that.
I know, I know. And you're right. I think some of the things that I've seen is like video creation of some like really horrible things that folks have used AI for potentially. It's used for like. It could be used for doxing. It could be used for any number of things. I mean, I've heard cases of people using AI for like stalking. I mean, so yeah. I mean, so you're right. I mean, there is kind of this issue, and I just saw recently, unfortunately, that there have been some cases too of like teenage suicides that have happened as a result of connecting with chatbots, and I think that there's safeguards that companies are starting to put in place. We have quite a range of folks that obviously listen to Corporate Cafecito, everywhere from executives all the way down to entry-level folks. Are there some specific sort of watch outs, I think, particularly since the last time that you were here, that you would kind of advise people whether they're using it for them, or oftentimes Nayeli and I talk about this a lot. My parents know about it because I've started using it, and so that's how they kind of get to it.
Yeah.
But it's like anything else. If they hear fake news, they'll just go
Oh,
about
they
it.
love fake news.
Oh yeah, and by the way, speaking of fake news, I can't tell you how many times my parents will watch a video and think that it's true, and then I'm like, "No, Mom, that's AI."
I just saw the cutest animal, right? And it's like, yeah, that was AI. The eyes aren't
The
normally
jackalope?
that big. Yeah.
Do you remember that video of like the bunnies hopping on the
Yeah.
It was
trampoline
so
and
adorable.
everyone thought it was real? So like anything that you would say that over the last, since you were last here, that's probably worth us.
Yeah. I mean, it's exponentially getting worse and better.
Yeah.
Right. I describe it to people as like, it's a hammer, right? And you can use the hammer to hammer nails, or you could hit someone over the head with it, right? It can be used for both. Don't hit people over the head with it, right? That's like, well, I think right now what we need to do is have, it's tough because
Disclaimer: we do not approve of any hitting.
don't hit anyone. Yeah, that was the point of the thing. Don't hit people over the but it's we need some sort of regulation and rules because there is none right now. It's kind of like I understand the whole freedom of speech thing, but there's also the thing of I can make an AI do or say whatever I want. Right. Right now, I think a lot of times what you guys are used to is AI that is being managed by a company, right? Like like an OpenAI or a Claude. But you can download open source models, put them on your own servers, and then make them do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right.
So here, how do you? I guess the other thing is, how do I protect my stuff from AI?
Absolutely.
How do I make sure that they can't get it?
So
Is
that's
it-
an amazing question, and it's you can't. Like I wish there was oh, this is no, dude, you're done. It's we gave them access to all that stuff a long time ago.
Excuse me.
There's no way around it. AI's been kind of dripped little bit by little bit on us since like 2012. right? And we didn't know we were. I always love to give the example of, you don't know this, but you were training AI models since 2008 when they were asking you for the CAPTCHA, right?
Yeah.
That's what that really was.
Huh.
You ever notice that when like self-driving cars became a thing, it was always like, hey, tell me where the lights are and tell me where the crosswalk is. That's because you were reinforcing computer vision models for self-driving cars.
Oh wow.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
So instead
I
of
should get paid for that.
exactly.
That's right. Exactly.
So that kind of stuff has been like little by little introduced. The fact that when you go buy stuff, it like knows what else you want to buy.
Oh, yeah.
And after time, it just nails it for some reason. I was telling you about YouTube
Before
videos.
I used to do that. Before I was the person that was like, let me make Chechi trip over a Duncan Hines cake mix till he buys it.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly
I'm like,
right.
I'm going to put that cake in your head.
Now we just automated it.
Yeah.
One of the things, so I went to an AI boot camp about 3 weeks ago, and I also did a Google certification recently, just to like on prompting. And one of the things that was really interesting is that there was a room of probably 40 people, and they said, ask ChatGPT or Gemini, whoever it is, to give you any number between 1 and 50. And almost every single person got the number 27. And the reason why is because one of the things that I realized is, because these things are basically being trained on the same thing, at least a lot of the big large language models, it's not unusual to also get to a very similar response most of the time. And so why I say that is because I think about folks who are using this for work, and they might be thinking they're coming up with the next best, greatest thing, and they have absolutely no idea that ChatGPT or Gemini
Just
or
gave
any of these other
everybody the
places
same
are giving them
answer.
the same
Yeah.
answer. So what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, no, that's exactly
What it's
what
supposed
goes
to
on.
do, right?
And by the way, because you ask something between this and this, it can also interpret between as the center, right? So
Yeah.
it chooses 27 because it's close to the center. And there's a bunch of stuff and sometimes we try to, hey, can you explain that to me? We don't know.
Yeah.
Like we're training a neural network and it's just the answers that it's coming to. But there are some things that it's will repeat and constantly will say the same things over and over. I think right now the people's obsession is, again, around large language models because it's a really neat trick. It's a really neat, like you ask a question, you get a response.
Yeah.
But it's actually like, that's kind of the easy part to AI.
Yeah.
The hard part is getting all of the data,
Yeah.
structuring it, giving it all the answers so that it can then go retrieve those answers easily.
Yeah.
But that's like 99% of the work is that. But 1% is what people see with the question answer, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The question answer is like the easiest thing.
Which the answers I think for me are hilarious. I don't know if you've seen the recent South Park or one of the South Park episodes.
I've seen them all.
Like, I know. I was like, you're talking to the right person.
And it was like everything was like, oh, I think that's such a great idea, or oh, it was that's wonderful,
Yeah.
even if it was like a horrible
Correct.
idea.
Yes.
And so I think there's a little bit of a bias I think that you could also develop too from using some of these.
It purposefully
things.
gives you the bias because it wants you to be happy, so you continue to use it, right? Like, and that's the whole point.
It's like feeding a monster.
I was going to say it's like a dopamine sort of. Is that kind of what you're sort of
Yeah.
talking
So
about?
that was a great thing. 'Cause, hey, let's make a business plan, and like, oh my God, this is such a great idea. We'll do this business plan, and we'll do this. And I think what AI in the future, like, I think this was the first what we call like more general AI, where it's kind of like okay at a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
Right. And now, something we've been doing since 2020 is what they call agentic
I was just gonna ask you
stuff.
about that,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is more of what I think is the actual future, which is much smaller models that are really dumb at everything except for like one or two things. And then, so I'll give you an example with us. You get a lab report from some hospital. There's this AI that we have that looks at it and it says, hey, I see handwriting. I see a table, right, of things. And this looks to me like it could be a lab report or these other three things. So it's like, so what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go grab these agents that are all good at doing this. You're really good at tables. Go give me the answer for the tables. You're really
Wow.
good at this. And then they're smaller, so they work faster.
Yeah.
And because they're smaller, they don't hallucinate anywhere near as much. So your precision goes up much higher. But now you have to have more hardware to have more
Well,
of these
that's
little
what I was
agents.
going to ask. Wouldn't that be like what we're trying to avoid and just have
trade-off.
like a generalist AI? Or why couldn't there be like a supreme understanding of everything?
So I'll put it to you this way: it's a really easy way in a
Uh-huh.
hospital. If you have the cold, and you're sick, you go to your general doctor. But if you have a brain tumor, you're going to a neurologist or a specialist, right?
But if I'm building like the super surgeon, why wouldn't I make that super surgeon be able to like fix a broken ankle and mend a broken heart? Like, why wouldn't you?
So you will have where it knows about those things, but it won't be a specialist at that, right? Because if not, the bigger we make the models, the more likely they are to be wrong. Context length matters a lot. So, or tokens, right? Like how many you can have. And the reality of it is people will say like, oh, there's a token length of, 1 million.
Sure.
In reality, it's really only good at like 5 pages. After that, you start losing a lot of what's good. So unless you're doing easy stuff like summarize a book, that it can do very easily because summarizations. But if you say, look at this document and tell me the name and tell me the date and you start asking for specifics, the bigger the model, the less good it's going to be at your answers.
I have a question. So integration, right? So I was playing around with agents not long ago because I had heard a story that someone had applied to like 3,500 jobs using AI agents, which I thought was actually very interesting. And it was able to get one of the agents to write cover letters, one of the agents to do this. And so it was interesting. And for me, I was actually trying to see if I can get an AI agent to go through my LinkedIn and just actually gauge which ones of my posts work a little bit better or what were the themes or the topics. And it was like, hey, I can't get access to this LinkedIn information. So there was a limitation, obviously, where it was like, it was making me do the work to say, why don't you put this information here and then I'll tell you about it. Are you starting to see that there's more, or is your impression that there will be more or less integration around that, particularly because of, I am assuming, data security?
Way more.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So right now, the limitation is probably just by the model you were trying to use or the agent that you were trying to use for it. Also, you probably didn't know how to customize it for it to be able to do the stuff that it wasn't able to do, like give it the correct access or give it, the even just how to log in properly or things like that for you,
Gotcha.
But dude, we do agents that scrape data all over the internet for a whole bunch of different
I'm
things.
going to pull you guys out of this geek talk because it's not like I want to think about like what implications does this have for our community, and especially like when we think about immigration, will AI hurt our community?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I mean, again, it can be used for good or for bad. I think with current climate, it probably will hurt us a great deal. Yeah, I think in the future, if we can kind of change the political climate of what's going on, it can be used for amazing things and to really help the community in a big way. Years ago, the Hispanic community especially, we missed out on the whole like internet craze and all of that. We were not ready for it. Like whenever people, hey, what should, my kid wants to go to school, I'm like, AI, like right now, get it. Engineering, AI, because, I hate to say it, but like, accounting will be done by AI. Legal, like it's doing paralegal work right now.
It is.
The only real thing that I
only
feel.
litigators.
Yeah, exactly. You just, the badasses that show up, but.
Only the suits team.
Yeah. I mean, I see what we do, right? We took a process that was taking litigators 17 to 20 hours to do. And now it's a 35-minute thing, 35 to 40 minutes, right, on average. Now, you'd think that would be bad for them because they charge per hour. But many law firms nowadays are charging by fixed costs. So I will take this case on. We will do it for $20 million. It's now their job to make sure they're not spending a whole bunch of money. Yeah. And that's what we've found a pretty good way of
You know what
in.
I also am concerned about? Like, so this happened with Tito. He got flagged for plagiarism. But the paper that he was flagged for plagiarizing was his.
His own
so
work?
Then
Okay.
But from like 10 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm like, that's not plagiarism. That's like wearing the same dress to another wedding. Like what? Like.
But is it because he didn't cite his own previous work? Is that probably?
That's
why?
like, what do you do in that case? Because you're using AI for everything, and at some point, I think in my head, like, eventually we'll have exhausted all the combinations of words that we could put in a sentence where we will all be plagiarizing each other because it's just how we speak.
So there's this thing by Google called Notebook LM.
Yes.
Okay, and honestly, get used to that thing. That thing is incredible.
It's
Notebook
amazing.
LM?
Notebook
Like,
LM.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that the one that like will even make podcasts for you and
Yes,
stuff
it'll
like
literally
that?
make a
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah.
for you.
no,
But
it will
yeah,
not.
do
You have to
not.
follow
Do
real
not.
people with real coffee.
But you always know when it's a fake one because it's
You
the same
do.
voice of the woman
It
and the same
is.
voice of the man, and
It
it is
is.
very so. But what's really cool about it, and the thing that is you can give it, say here, look up information about how cars have been built from the 1930s to the 1960s, and then you can even give it websites. You can give it all of this amazing information, and then you can just start asking questions. So you can give it 100 sources,
Yeah.
and then say, hey, which one of these was the ones that created the most cars between this year and this year, and then it just answers the questions based on the data you've given it.
What?
And then
Yeah.
it'll give
Yeah.
you it'll give you all of these like word bubbles. It'll give you all kinds of really, really amazing info. And so for me, it's amazing because let's say I want to learn something that would have taken me a week to learn.
Yep.
I'll learn in like an hour and a half, 2 hours, simply by telling Notebook
While
LM to go.
driving.
And
Yeah,
just listening to the
Oh,
podcast.
and once you get all of that, you say, make me a 15-minute podcast
Yeah.
of all of this. But I want you to focus specifically on these
On
things.
these things.
And literally do like 5 minutes later, you have a podcast about it.
Okay.
I just
Yeah,
was-
we're just
yeah.
last question because if not,
Oh,
we'll keep
no,
changing
I
here
know.
all day.
Don't get scared. I think you said something that was really important about having missed out on this kind of last wave, and I will agree. I mean, I think it's taken me far longer to understand like blockchain, for example, than I think it should have, or to understand crypto. I think that's all part of kind of a lot of the the same sort of thing. I never really jumped on the NFTs or anything else like
Thank
that.
God. I feel like
which,
that went away, right?
I
did.
feel like that kind of went away relatively quickly, but this feels different. And I think you're right. Whether it's for our listeners, doing something like a quick certification course on prompting essentials
Yeah.
so that they get a better understanding, because I learned a lot about just like being a responsible user of AI and making sure that you're not putting out confidential information or anything like that on the internet.
And not using up a whole town's water supply because you
Yeah.
want to know what Halloween costume to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
it's one of the things I think a big kind of tug and pull that I feel that I still see in corporate is this going to transform my job or is it going to replace my job? And I think that a lot of that will depend on us.
So it's going to replace. It's not there's no way around it unless we're just going to pay people to not do much, right?
Yeah.
It's getting so much better as time goes on. I think we got to figure out what we do about it,
Sure.
I think that I was, the last time I was here in Aileen, I was like, it will start replacing these jobs, these jobs,
Yeah,
these
and I
jobs.
was like, oh my
and then all of them
God.
start
I was like,
going.
no.
Yeah.
I was like, Chichi Woodstock, should I buy?
I know.
I think I said NVIDIA back then, and look at
And
it
I
now.
did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I was like, NVIDIA's the one because they're the ones that power all of the AI right now
Sure.
from around the world. So, no, we'll see where a lot of this stuff goes. I know, again, it'll be we have to figure out what we do with all the jobs
Yeah.
that'll be
Yeah.
replaced. I think for jobs like us, it's still enhancing what we do,
Sure.
but eventually, man, it's just cheaper. One of the things really quick that if you notice, they were like, hey, they're bringing back manufacturing to the United States, and there's a big thing on,
Oh, yeah.
hey, let's build here, right? But if you notice, it never said bring back the manufacturing jobs.
Yeah.
What they said is bring back manufacturing.
Manufacturing.
So the manufacturing that they're building right now is automated with artificial intelligence, where you're not going to need humans to do the manufacturing anymore.
And pretty
Right.
soon, the people
No.
that are going to be doing the construction on those manufacturing things might be those
Correct.
robots that you're talking about.
And Mexico has done a good job bringing a lot of manufacturing there, and then they have like 6 people running the whole plant.
Correct.
Which
Yes.
So-
is it's just crazy
Yeah.
to me.
Mexico's killing it right now. I was very close to bringing on a bunch of people from Mexico to help us, and now with this new thing with the $100,000
Oh,
for
the
an
H-1B?
H-1B visa,
Yep.
I'm like, oh man, like who does that help?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how is that helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we wanted the best people doing the best work,
But that's the thing,
So
it's meant to
Right.
discourage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is it's very interesting. I know we're getting close to time. I just want to say honestly, I can never get tired, I think, enough of having the conversations around AI because I do think it's still evolving. For some of our listeners, I don't know how familiar you are with Workday, But that's one of the companies right now that's currently embroiled in a massive lawsuit because they've used AI on the talent acquisition side, and the lawsuit is that allegedly the algorithm was automatically filtering out folks that were over 40 and rejecting them. And so
We talked
there's
about
this,
that with mortgage applications and how it had a bias against Latinos and
yeah.
African Americans.
And,
Yeah.
and so whether it's mortgage application reviews or talent acquisition, there's still this, I think, kind of weird gray space, which is realizing that you can use these things for efficiency, but also realizing how much of a legal liability you might be potentially running into.
What I will say is AI is going to be 10 times bigger than like when the internet happened. Like this is like
Is it going to be bigger than computers?
Yeah, it'll be big, it'll be bigger than computers. Like honestly, I equate it more to like the creation of fire when like we figured like this is such
big.
an insane snowball that's
Yeah.
happening. So I think we have to be like that's how important it is, and I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things we have to remember, and like we have to start learning. Like this isn't going anywhere, and we gotta like
Yeah, we got to embrace it.
Nayeli, what are your predictions for the next time we bring Sergio here?
I think for
Or
the
Chichi,
next
sorry, Chichi.
It's all good.
time, it will be the most downloaded. You know what? I think that, it's really cool having an expert like you. I think to me, AI feels scary. Like I understand like how it helps like organize thoughts or like source things for me or teach me things. Like I use it for that. I do, get up to speed and ask it for like train me on this or what do I need to know to go into this industry, et cetera. I guess every time you come back, I get scared because I'm like, because what you say comes true. And then I think about kids in college right now. And I'm like, what kind of world are they coming out to? And I think that AI is replacing that entry level. So it's really great if you were mid-career or late career because you're still needed. You're going to end up your career and you're going to be okay. But the kids who are coming out now are going to come out into a world where they're going to be almost unhireable because that first level where you learn things is gone.
Well, I also see it. There's a positive to me for that, right? Because I didn't go to college either. But I really think that right now there is somebody working by themselves, and they're going to be a one-person company, and they're going to be able to be valued at $1 billion.
Yeah,
Because of
that's
how
true
much
too.
AI is able to help them. So I think people will be able to create jobs
Yeah,
very quickly for
innovation.
themselves, right? In the way that they're using it. You can innovate 50 times faster than you can innovate before. And with the creativity of kids, if they learn how to use these tools properly, I think it's actually gonna like. There's so many jobs we didn't know were going to
So you're
exist.
telling me
Amiga.
shift my mindset. Shift
I know,
my mindset.
amiga.
Like,
My God,
ah.
I'm actually surprised to hear
I know.
this.
I'm not
But
a
you know
negative
what? Just
person,
let it
but
out. Let it out.
But I do. I think about like, like you said, like the kids who studied accounting right now.
Yeah.
It's like you better be real good. You know,
Yeah.
Because only the top 10 are staying.
yeah. So it does worry me. Okay.
All right.
Enough doom and gloom.
Yes, there we go.
We will have you back.
Things are going
800
great for me, though.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy to hear
You know
it.
what? Follow TackleAI.
TackleAI.
And we will have you back a million other times. So
Sounds
thank
good.
you for coming.
We need
No,
to. We need
Yeah.
to, honestly. And hopefully this is a nice encouragement for folks. I think it's great, Nayeli, that you're being honest and open about your fears and concerns because I believe I know a lot of people in just my inner circle that do feel that same
Yeah.
way. But I also love the way that we're ending this by saying, hey, there are also opportunities. And
Yeah.
so
It's going to be okay.
check it out. It's going to be okay. Do some exploring, leverage that curiosity, whether you're a people leader trying to figure out how to be a better people leader, or you are an employee trying to figure out how to better do your work or be more efficient. There are great opportunities out there for you. And again, follow TackleAI, and we can't wait to have you back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See you guys
Thank
soon.
you.
Take care, guys.
All right. Nos vemos la próxima.
Hasta luego.